Okay, so first off, thank you for watching Boundless. I'm sure you're all wondering what the hell is going on in the tricks, so I'm here now to explain in a little more depth. This vid isn't a tutorial for how to perform specific skips, it's mostly all info about the tech we discovered, which made it all possible. The way I see it, we can split these skips into two main techs which I'll explain individually. The first thing I want to talk about is the grounded state from drifting midair and from a TNT explosion. This tech is nuts, and it ended up being the key to unlocking skips in every track shown in the video, except for Jungle Boogie. Basically, how I think this works is that when you're drifting in midair, the game seems to think you're on the ground in the area that you're over or under, so you can drift out of bounds, hold that drift until you're near another part of the track, die, and respawn nearby. The minimap is very important for this trick, as it will only properly skip past sections while you're in the grounded state. The whole idea is to get your minimap position to update in certain ways, so you can skip huge sections of the course, and even get laps midair. You seem to respawn where your minimap thinks that you are, so this is another key aspect. Keeping hold of drift is key. You won't skip over sections properly if you're not drifting. You might notice you spin out if you hold drift in a direction for 2 seconds, which is bad. So we had to find a way to avoid hitting this threshold and getting spun out. You seem to be able to drift for as long as you want if you manage this threshold well, and it comes in very useful under the map. I figured out that the threshold goes from 2 seconds to -2 seconds, for a total of 4 seconds gap, depending on which way you hold in a drift, and you can spin out when either extreme is hit. Essentially, this means that you can drift holding left for 1 second, then if you switch to holding right, it will take 3 seconds to hit the right threshold. The main way we avoid losing our drift is by letting the stick go neutral, which seems to slowly reset the value. Also, it's important to note that hitting a boost while in a drift seems to reset this number. You can update your position in a similar way as a drift by exploding yourself with TNT, which James found out of some crazy inspiration when we were discussing how to use a Thunderstruck out of bounds. We couldn't drift out of bounds there, so a different way to update our position on the minimap was needed. This one is interesting because you can pretty much just get to where you need to be, explode, and just respawn there. There are definitely more places you can use this version. It's such a sick tech. The other important tech is the one we call flying. This one is equally as absurd because it leverages the magnet physics to fly off at weird angles. You can float around the map, under the map, drift off the bottom of a track section. This trick just has it all. And like most of our skips, it was found just fucking around. Combined with the drift tech, this allowed us to create some pretty crazy tricks. I'm honestly not too sure why this one works. I just know that if you detach from a magnet track section, you'll keep being pulled with the same directional force of the track, which essentially just changes the angle of gravity. It's not very easy to move about in this state. You can rotate a little and jump out of a drift if you're in one, but the initial angle you fly off at matters a lot, it seems. I get a lot of use out of air braking in this state, especially when trying to hit the drift on the underside of Barren. Something cool you can do with this trick is to detach from the magnet section, then skim it again to change your trajectory. I used this in the first assembly lane skip, which is pretty nutty. I hope this vid answers some of the questions people had about the tech itself. I'm still planning on doing some small tutorials for the specific skips, but I just wanted to get this one out first, as it's the real dark magic that's made it all happen. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button for the next tutorial vids. And peace. I'll see you around.